Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Connor with Conquered Fitness. Thanks again for stopping by. We have another awesome video for you guys today. We are going to go over what an ectomorph is because I mentioned it in the last video, and for some of you who might not know what that is, stay tuned. You are about to get educated. Here we go. Okay, so to accurately define what an ectomorph is the best way to go about this is to tell you that there are three unique body types. There is the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. As you see here in this chart, these are what the body types look like. Now, for my specific audience, I'm assuming you're going to fall into the ectomorphic category. This in particular are the leaner, lankier, smaller framed individuals. So no matter what happens in your life, you are always skinnier, I guess is the best way to say it. The mesomorphs are kind of in the middle with the more athletically built physique, so they're not usually overweight, they're not underweight, they just always stay right in the middle. And then the endomorphs are your more full-bodied, larger individuals. Think offensive linemen. They fall into the category where they're still athletic and muscular, but they're not shredded. That's the best way to describe that. So for us, we are usually a lot smaller framed. We have smaller bones. We have flat chests, long limbs, and very, 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 very fast metabolisms. That is the key factor. The whole thing is we are able to process, digest, and utilize food intake way faster than anybody else. So, what does this all mean? With your faster metabolism, it also means you don't hold fat. So, 9 times out of 10, we have no fat on our bodies as well. So that also means that we stay lean no matter what we eat. So, even if you just finished a big meal or you went through the holidays and just killed it at Thanksgiving, you're still exactly the same weight. Sometimes you may have even lost a pound somehow. So, what does this mean for us? What can we do to change this? Well, that's where the whole key thing comes in with metabolism. The only way to actually fight against that is to go above and beyond your daily recommended caloric intake. So wherever you think you're eating, or whatever amount that you think is right, that's probably about half of what you should be eating. And we're going to get into a lot of diet plans, but that's just critical to know this early on, that the most important thing you're going to learn throughout any of this is eating properly to help you gain healthy weight. Now, something else that comes hand in hand with a faster metabolism is usually a more hyperactive, high-energy lifestyle. So if you find yourself to be a more energetic person and don't find yourself fatiguing if you go out and do activities or play sports or whatever you might do, that is also correlated with the faster metabolism as well. So that is another telltale sign that you are an ectomorph. So, what are my credentials? Who are you, Connor? How are you going to tell me what I am and what I need to do? Well, let me tell you. So, 18 years old, graduating high school, I weighed about 120 pounds. I just started to get into the gym a little bit. I didn't have any proper guidance. I didn't know what I was really doing. I just went in and said, okay, this is the key. This is how I'm going to change it. Got to start somewhere. So I started going to the gym about 3 days a week and decided to kind of learn on my own. I had a couple people help me out here and there, gym attendants, personal trainers, nobody that I actually hired, just people who would give me pointers and just a little bit of advice. And I started seeing a lot of results very quickly. And so then it just clicked. As soon as you start seeing those initial results, everything else just becomes easy and you won't be able to stop. So now I maintain a weight about 170, but after about the first 4 years, I managed to get up to 175 pounds. Here is a before and after photo, so you guys can kind of see a little bit of evidence. And this just goes to show how possible it is. No matter how small you start, you're not going to have to stay there. It is an entirely different regimen. It's an entirely different outlook on fitness that we have to kind of follow. But it is very possible and it is very rewarding. So the best way I can demonstrate to you guys visually what an ectomorph is and what we're going to be working with is to lay out a pros and cons comparison to ectomorphic training versus pretty much every other fitness program. So here is my handy dandy chart with the pros and cons. As an ectomorph, you will always have less fat. Always. That just due to your metabolism, as I said, you will not be able to hold on to fat. Your metabolism eventually will begin to start slowing down, but we will be able to adapt to that later in life. But if you are at a younger stage in life, in your early 20s to late 20s, it's not going to be possible to hold fat. That's why we're going to have lots of bulking cycles and be able to enjoy lots of different foods that most other people with fitness goals would not. Now, on the other side of it is we have less muscle. So you may not be holding any fat, but you also don't have any muscle to complement. So you're just kind of a bony person. Now, back to the other side, you will be able to eat whatever you want. Especially, like I said, in your late teens, early 20s, when your metabolism is going to be at its tip top. There is going to be no harm in fatty foods, sugary foods, just high caloric, dense foods at any time. That's actually going to be good because that's going to help you add more calories in to help you gain healthy weight. Now, the problem is, even when you think you're doing it, you're still not going to be gaining weight. It's going to have to be above and beyond to actually see the numbers go up on the scale. Now, this is a con in a more generic sense that whatever your daily lifestyle is, you're not going to gain weight. You may eventually, later in life, when the metabolism does start to slow down, gain very, very gradual natural weight, but as in for muscle development and bodybuilding and physique developing, it's not going to happen unless we do a lot of extra work. Back to the pros, you have a lean physique at all times. So, in other words, no matter what you're doing, you're just going to have that good physique that a lot of people actually would strive to have. So that's an advantage. Now, on the other side, it's a smaller frame. So you may be lean and have some abs and all that jazz, but you're still very straight like a board and very bony. And it's one of those things that I guess depends on which way you look at it, whether it's a pro or a con. But in my personal opinion, it's great that you're going to have a physique a lot of people would desire, but at the same time, it's not quite to where you would want it, I'm assuming. So, now this last one, I'm going to do backwards because it's kind of a tricky one. Majority of people in the United States are trying to lose weight because there is a bit of an epidemic right now where people's BMIs are too high and there's obesity and all that jazz. So what's predominantly out there is weight loss programs and desire to cut fat. Now, without trying to undermine the challenges that these people are going through and how awesome it is when they do, it is still actually not as challenging as what we need to do to see our fitness goals. Underneath all this excess fat that some people have acquired is still whatever their genetic frame is, like me. Underneath. They just have to change their lifestyle, their diet, to just kind of shred it off. Just slowly, gradually burn it off, and underneath is what they're looking for. On the other side of things, we are built to be small. That is our genetic disposition. So to change that, we have to do a lot more than just exercise and eat healthier. You basically have to kind of beat your own system and find a way to change the way you are actually designed to be. And it is more challenging. Now, the pro to that is it's an easier journey because the people who are overweight have to cut out any of their favorite foods. They have to do something that a lot of people don't like to do in that particular scenario, and that's go run and do cardio, and they have to just eat vegetables and cut out all their favorite treats, and that's not fun. For us, we don't have to give up anything necessarily. We just have to do more of it, in fact. So it's an easier journey, in my opinion, to strive to reach our goals. The path to gaining weight is not as mentally challenging as it is to lose weight. It's just going to be more physically demanding, and that's pretty much the best way to compare the two of them, and to kind of give you a heads up of what's later to come. Because it's going to be some hard work, but it's nothing that's not going to be enjoyable at the same time. So I really hope that throughout this program, everybody can give 110%, but still have fun and not have to give up a lot of their favorite things in life. So now we kind of have a better understanding of some of the attributes of an ectomorph and what you're working with, and understanding what the actual body type is. So for all of you out there who are one, congratulations, you have stumbled across the right channel to help you see results and make some changes. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we have about one more video covering some science stuff. We're going to cover a little bit of the art of muscle building, and then we're going to head straight into principles and really start getting into the good stuff. So Facebook, like it, Instagram, follow it, YouTube, subscribe. Thank you all so much, and let's continue to conquer.